Well, so far this season, the team has more wins already than the 2018-19 season or the 2019-20 season. That's right. I'm talking about the Lloydminster Bobcats of the AJHL. Joining me now to talk about their season thus far is Nigel Dube. Nigel, thank you very much for taking this time. Now, as I mentioned, obviously those win totals are starting to add up. Just what's made the team so successful thus far?
Well, I think we talked about, the steps that it was going to take in the rebuild program and being at year three now with a COVID year that nobody remembers at times. But, we got a great group of guys in there, and I think that's a big part. Our 16-year-olds are now 18-year-olds with experience. They've matured. They've developed along the way to be, outstanding players. And then we're able to bring in additional players around that have experience in the league. And I think that, not playing hockey last year, you guys really appreciated it early here. So when they came to the rink, they put the work in, and it was never questioned that way. And it just continued to grow. And, scoring goals is a big part. And we had a really tough start to the year with the teams that we played and where they were, and just stuck with it and continued to develop within. And I think that's led to it. And the biggest part that comes down to it is we got a dressing room full of guys that they want each other to succeed as much as they want themselves to succeed. And when you have that recipe, it helps a lot. And then, it was a part where we needed to win some games here as an organization. And I think, our scouting staff's done a great job of bringing in those players that are able to do that. And they're also amazing citizens that have made our community better too as well.
Now, Nigel, the Bobcats were the only team to not play 2020-2021 regular season game. Now, heading into this season, did that make yourself or any of the other coaching staff a little nervous that you might be a step behind coming into the year?
Well, we changed up the start of our year and how we did it. I think even our players were surprised the first day that they came to camp. They spent 5 hours on the ice. So that's a lot of hockey and a lot of reps in the first day. And by the third day of camp, they'd felt it. But we needed to get to that level of, hey, this is where we're at. And we can't use that as an excuse not playing last year. But at the same time, we had to be patient with some of our players. Some of our players came out of the gate super strong, hard. It depended too which province they were in and if they were able to train and be on the ice for the entire year, or if they weren't. So we, as a coaching staff, you had to kind of take a step back and be like, hey, let's give them some time here and they'll find their stride and then get to that. So patience was key. And it was also just, we did use a lot of resources that we had gained over the COVID year in the video and using those new tools that we have now to making sure that we were educating our guys. And but it was a different approach because you see some of those guys that played 20 games last year and got all 20 in, and they were a little bit further ahead because their whole group had been a part of it. But we hadn't. We understood it. We didn't use it as an excuse. And then we just fueled the fire with it.
And because the team did not play a regular season game last season, the team this year has 13 rookies on it. Just talk about the impact of these players so far, Nigel.
Well, and I think that's the unique part of this is that we got a couple of games in last year in the development year, and you have players that they hit their stride at different times, and they have their peaks and they have their little setbacks. Because there's a lot of hockey when you're playing 60 games, and we've seen that already. That some of our guys that might be an older so-called rookie are going through those highs and lows at different times just because they haven't seen that full schedule of a junior hockey, and it's a grind. There's no doubt, and we've seen some of our younger guys now that are hitting their stride right now. That are really outstanding that might have been in and out of the lineup in the first month and they've solidified that and now they're producing points too or being a really solid 200-foot player. So it's been all over the map in that aspect. I think that we like that our group, having so many of them are so bought into our organization, our philosophy, and our community.
And of course, Nigel, we have to talk about some of the local talent. Javen Leslie and Ben Bygrove, each from Lloydminster, both assistant captains on the team this year, and as well, Matthew Swanson currently leading the team in goals. Just talk about the three of those players.
Yeah, well, we pride ourselves, in having the local players here, and those three especially when you can have 3 locals that contribute like that. And Big Ben Bygrove is one of the biggest players in the league, and I think that he's kind of the sheriff back there. Everybody knows him. He's got that tough, aggressive player mentality to him, which is great, and he's playing a ton for us. With a couple of injuries to other guys, he's played over probably 30 minutes a night for us, and done a great job of that. Javen Leslie's was injured to start the year, missed significant time there, and in and out a little bit just with the injury. And then I think he's found his stride, and he's one of the dominant 200-foot players. He's matured. There's a player we've seen that came in at 16 and now at 18 years old has matured, filled out his body, and understands the game. And I think that he's got potential to be one of the best 200-foot players in the league. And then Matthew Swanson, finds ways to score goals. Finds ways to score goals when he played in the elite system in Lloydminster, whether that was the younger ages. We always found ways to score goals, and he's continued to do that. But 3 outstanding citizens too as well, and they're contributing right in their backyard here, and obviously role models for the community and the little ones too as well. And it's always great when you can talk to the local players that are up and coming, and everybody knows the Ben Bygroves and the Javen Leslies and Matthew Swanson. I think you ask anybody in town, they think he's from town. He's played here so long. So it's just great to see those guys contribute at such a high level.
Well, Nigel, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me. This was Nigel Dube, head coach and general manager for the Lloydminster Bobcats.